Welcome to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast. Join Pam Perry, veteran PR strategist, Emmy award-winning producer and publisher of Speakers Magazine, who will show you how to crack the code in getting out there to get known. Each week, she either interviews her media friends, PR colleagues, or she just goes solo, offering you strategies on publicity, publishing, and platform building. So listen up to hear how to get booked on media places and on superstar stages. Now, here's your host, Pam Perry.
Hey, this is Pam Perry. Thank you for joining me today. I have a guest. Now, you hear in the intro, it says she either interviews media experts or her PR colleagues. Well, Denise is like the anomaly. She is not really a PR colleague or a media, but she really is. So she has a YouTube channel. But I wanted to bring her on because she is so creative. She is so creative. And I want to know, like, what drives this creativity. So she has the best YouTube channel. You have to check it out. I'm going to put it up there right now that it is Denise Hart. And I saw her and one of the things, I met Denise a while ago. This was a business card when I met Denise.
Yes. Oh my God. Come on, throwback. I love it.
I met her when she was doing mindset support, fired up your mindset mojo. I loved her initially. I remember you had this hair that I just was like, oh my God, this was way before people were doing the natural hair thing.
Girl, come on, tell the truth.
Yes, you had it together.
And
she's speaker, author, coach, Momentum Institute that she did. She really talked about next level of dreams, next level life, next level business, which really is still really, even though she's reinventing her brand, she still is always doing this next level. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, the next level dream. All right. Because she just can't be in one spot. So she has this butterfly. I guess that butterfly was probably kind of symbolic because she can't be in one spot. She's going to be fluttering around. And I want you all to make sure that you check out her channel. But I met you probably over a decade ago in DC. Yeah. That's where you're out of, and you're a instructor at Howard, a professor at Howard University.
I am.
She's a Delta girl.
I say I'm part of the 2% because only 2% of women of color are full professors in academia. So I'm in the 2% club.
Wow, 2%? Are you kidding 2% me?
In the
That's
country?
Crazy. And so one of the things, you could read the formal bio, but she really has a creative spirit. She teaches drama, playwright, anything creative. That's
television writing, acting.
Yes. That is Denise Hart. All right. So really kind of tell us how this all started for you, because you probably could have done anything. You could have been an actress. You could have just been a writer, whatever. Now you're doing the YouTube channel. You built that studio right now that we're looking at. It's like, okay, what else can she do? All right.
Well, I jokingly say when people ask that question, I say, really, there's a lot of things that I can't do. But one of the things that I have made a commitment to myself many years ago, Pam, was to do the thing that gave me tremendous joy. Mm-hmm. Not a little bit of joy, but tremendous joy. And so that way I am pouring my whole self.
What is your middle name?
Joy.
There you go.
My middle name is Joy. And I used to joke when I would speak on, stages all around the country and say, I have joy in the middle of my heart because my parents named me Joy. My last name's Hart. And I kind of got this double whammy of this, double dose of love and joy and just this kinetic vibe. But to really answer your question about what motivates me, I had the kind of upbringing where we didn't have a lot. And so we moved quite a bit. My mom was a single parent. There were 4 of us. And from the time I was born till I was 17, I lived in 13 different homes. That's a lot of moving.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot. And that had me fix a space up and then make it special and take it down quickly because we moved a lot. So it taught me that having a space or an environment that really felt special means a lot. It shifts someone's energy. It uplifts you. It makes you feel cherished and warm. And that reality has stayed with me. And so I really kind of what I call undercover designer, used to offer to just do my friends' homes for nothing because I got so much joy out of helping them make a very special room or even their whole home. I knew from my own personal experience what a tremendous difference that kind of transformation makes in someone's life. And so I also was a visual artist growing up. And so when I went to high school, I did half of my classes in a day were all studio art, visual art, clay, acrylics. I mean, everything. I thought I was going to go to Paris and, be this visual artist. But my mom was like, how are you going to pay your bills? So then I chose theater. It's kind of a joke, right? Second best. But that visual art background plus my theater training where we learned how to build sets and how to use color and to create an environment to make people feel they were in a real person's home served me. And again, I continued to do the undercover, designing, helping people. And really what shifted for me was the pandemic. So I've done a lot of things. I've accomplished a lot of things. I've become an expert in several areas over the trajectory of my life. But one day I asked myself this question: if the pandemic or if the virus was going to take me out, what would I regret that I had not gone full out?
That's good.
And I answered that question without missing a beat, that I did not truly take my design sensibility and my design skill and that passion to the next level. And I said, you know what? Let me just start a YouTube channel. And from there, it's had this profound snowball effect, quite honestly. I was really just going to build out this YouTube channel and do small. I actually did a series called the DIY Duo Redesign, which was a show. And so I would go into people's homes. But from there, people started to reach out and say, well, can you do my home? Or can you do these 2 rooms or these 3 rooms? And now it's becoming a thing, right? It's becoming a business.
So let me just
I basically have a retirement plan.
Denise, so one of the things I want people to know that your YouTube channel has over 1,600 subscribers and 31,000 views. So this is just, I'll start this little YouTube channel. This is like, seriously, like, I was like, she's got 1,600 subscribers. I'm like, why am I sleeping on this? I'm like, what is she doing with this Thrifty Fly DIY with Denise Joy? I'm like, oh my God. So this was something that I want people to know, that it is like watching one of my favorite shows, like I don't even know what the channel was called. I'm talking about the design channel,
or HGTV or DIY Network,
or Makeover, Extreme Makeover. Yes, Extreme Makeover. That's what I felt like I was watching, because you did your friend who was a Delta and you were doing her room, and then I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's when I said I have to have her on the show, because you don't have to stay pigeonholed in one area.
No,
but you have to live your dreams and all of your skills. You're a writer, you're a speaker, you are a creative person, and you use all those skills to really help bring it out of others, and first in helping them with their mindset. Now it's like all over, like totally in their home space.
Absolutely.
Which helps their mind.
Oh, unquestionably. I mean, part of my philosophy is the method that I use, or I created, is called the Furaha Method, which happens to mean joyful in Swahili. And that's a creative, holistic approach to helping clients create a joyful, custom on a budget space that's a mashup of physical beauty, functionality, and enhances their overall wellness. So absolutely, mindset is part of it.
Yes. So you didn't really waver from that. You just kind of grew into it more
correct,
holistically.
Expanded it into this arena.
That is one of the things. So how has your branding, I guess you would say, so I want to say this. So I have so many different clients that have a book and they want to speak, and they've been trying to do this for years, and they've been trying to get traction and that sort of thing, but they really just can't get this traction going, even though they have a message and they have a book and they're trying to do the social media. But you seem to do it so naturally and often. Like at one point you were doing the YouTube Denise Theater, then you were doing something else, then you were doing this. But what has been like the secret, I guess, for you to make these pivots?
I'm going to tell you. And I have been an entrepreneur for 28 years.
Wow.
My very first business few people know, was called Strictly Kids Decorating. And I would paint murals on children's bedroom walls. And so way back then, I started taking classes at SCORE, right? You probably heard of SCORE. You could get the free classes. And my understanding is this: once you gain a level of mastery in business infrastructure, you kind of don't lose it. It is like riding a bike. You just shift that methodology and that blueprint over to the next business and over to the next business. You make certain tweaks based on the industry, but pretty much the infrastructure of marketing and branding remains the same. And I shrug my shoulders, not like it's easy, but notice I said, once you achieve a level of mastery, level of mastery is through repetition and consistent application at the highest level that one can execute to build a mastery. And my also understanding is you need a team around you that helps keep that high level, that helps push you at the level of execution that's going to make a meaningful difference. Because it's not good enough to sort of develop mastery at the mediocre level, because you're going to get mediocre results. You need to have a core team of people around you, including yourself, to have the discipline and the motivation to push yourself to maintain that level. So really, I simply took what I had done in my business when you met me. I took those same principles, shifted them to this particular business. I wasn't even calling it a business, quite frankly. I was just calling it my YouTube channel, but it has now quickly become a business really in 6 months. And now I'm applying those principles to this business.
I love that. What is the ultimate goal, Denise? Is it to do like an HGTV show? Because I really saw it as an HGTV show.
People have been saying that to me. Did you pitch this to Netflix? And I'm like, no. I really am sort of sorting this out. There's a couple of sort of bigger pictures. So as we said at the beginning, I'm a college professor and I've been a professor for 21 years. Well, I'd like to retire early. So I really like to teach for 25 years. And so I call this my training ground for my early retirement entity, so that I build this out, slowly over time. And I like to say I want to retire from thriving to thriving. I don't want to retire from a thriving academic career and then go, what should I do? I want to already have something that I'm thriving in.
Yes.
The other thing specific to this business is I really would love to have a monetized YouTube channel. I believe in multiple streams of income and creating great content, high quality value to my subscribers, and yet being able to earn some income from that, I believe is a win-win. I loved back when I taught sales, I call that a dual profit experience. Everybody's benefiting in that situation. It's not one-sided. The other thing is I would love to eventually have a show. I really, really would be a host, but I'd love to. I'm a person who likes to get my hands dirty. So I wouldn't be the kind of host of a show who sat back and, I'd be the one saying, okay, grab the hammer with me and, let's do this together because I believe in community. So actually a good friend of mine sent me a host audition for, I don't know, was it HGTV? I can't remember, but they sent it to me yesterday. And it's like the third time someone has sent me that. So I have not told people that that's what I would like. People have been sending me the auditions because they see me.
I see it
already.
And the editing of it is really good. It's you're going to Home Depot and, you're going in there and you're seeing
Kim, I never edited anything in my life. I had to teach myself how to edit.
Are you serious?
I'm not making this
that's up. Why you're a professor, full-fledged professor at Howard. They've got the smart ones. Okay, they got the smart ones. I'm used to being the actress. See, some people may have seen me on HBO's The Wire. I had, recurring role. So I'm used to being the talent on that side. And when, it was COVID and I didn't have a team, and I said, Denise, it's on you. So what did I do? I get up and do my daily morning walks and I'd watch YouTube videos to teach myself how to edit. That is amazing. That it is so good. And it's entertaining as well as learning something for someone like me. So my studio is but basically like a black velvet background, right? And the most I could do right here, a little fancy, is like the little chair with the thing on it. It's like, okay. So I went into Joanne Fabrics or whatever it was, and I was like, I'm grabbing this. It was two things. Everything else was so overwhelming. My mind doesn't think like that of how to really pull it together, like what you've done in your background right now.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So good. And what do you call the style? You call it
Well,
bold?
this is what we call it transitional. Some people might call it eclectic, right? That's where you're layering color and pattern and texture to create a cohesive energy.
And then you said another one was boho. What was that? Bohemian?
Yeah, Afro boho is where you take that transitional or the colorful side of bohemian. Nowadays, there's a bohemian style that's really more of the Scandinavian, which is really kind of whites and blonde woods. That's more Scandinavian, but some people are calling that boho. Traditionally, boho was a colorful color, a very mixed color scheme. And with Afro boho is where you add Afrocentricity into like mud cloth or mass or natural materials, things like that into the color scheme.
I love that. I love that. And so your background in training, teaching theater.
Yes.
Building sets.
Right.
And so one of the things, building sets really allows you to see something that's not there and having to put something there.
Absolutely.
Like, okay, what do we do with this stage? How do we make this come alive? And that's exactly what you're doing. I love that. Denise, when I think about when I first met you, and we're going to laugh about this, one of the first things, you had the hair natural, and was like, I just want to be an influencer. This is way before they even called it influencers. I need someone to pay me to do my hair because you use these particular products. I forgot what the product was, but your hair was gorgeous, and you had the natural, you were doing the twist.
I remember this.
Yes. And I was like, we've got to figure that out. But it was before a lot of the influencers were influencers. Remember, this was 2010. Instagram had just started.
That's true.
So, that was like that we were always ahead of the time in terms of that. But yes, I remember that. And so for you to come full circle and doing all of this during the COVID just makes it so inspiring and possible for people to really, what you said, really being consistent and mastery of whatever it is that you're going to do. And you've been doing what you've been doing you said your first business was, I didn't know your first business was.
Oh my God. I have some of the cutest, I wish I had some of the pictures I would show you. Just so many great memories painting those murals. And really the form is called Trompe l'oeil because it's a form of painting that makes you think that the object is real. So it has perspective and dimension. And anyway, it's a whole thing. And I learned it as a visual artist, and I could paint something right now, if I wanted to, but.
Wow. So are you still teaching at Howard? Are you still?
I do. Yeah. Again, I have, I'm going to early retire at year 25. So I have about 4 years left. Okay. And my intention is to slowly build this business so that I can retire from teaching and go right into something that's really fulfilling and quite thriving already.
And combines everything, all the skills, like the talent,
all of it.
All of it.
It totally does. I write the scripts. I'm the talent. I know how to direct already. I just didn't know how to edit. A little bit
about web design as well, and SEO and all those types of things.
I do know those types of things too. I know enough to help myself be successful. Nobody could pay me to teach them SEO, but you know how just to serve yourself. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I do know those things. And so I use them all the time.
Man. And so I saw at one point you have a book.
I do. Journey to the Joy of Truth.
Yes. So
a series of essays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Joy has been following me around my whole life. It's in the middle, in my name.
And then obviously you speak as well. So you speak, the topics you speak, what are like some of the key topics, I guess, you really speak on when, if I were to say, okay, Joy, I want you to, Denise, I want you to speak at this women's conference. And
I would really talk about being understanding that you get to defy any circumstance. Any circumstance, no one is exempt from having a circumstance rock their world or shake them to their core. No, none of us are. You got to just keep living is what they say. You haven't had it happen yet? Oh, just keep living. That we can defy our circumstances. We can rebound. We can reinvent. We can shift and pivot and go to your next level. Your circumstance is a moment. You do get to drive and control your destiny. I'm a living example of it. You know, I've done everything that we traditionally think should have been done. I've done it far later than anyone would have imagined. I didn't graduate from college till I was 33 years old. No one knows this. I went on to get my master's degree. Now I became a 2%er, tenured faculty, full professor. I virtually debt free. I've owned my third house. I never thought I'd even own a house for that matter. I've managed to buy all of my homes on my own, started several businesses. Every one of us can defy any circumstance.
So that's probably why when I met you that you were doing the momentum expert reinvention strategist, because you really just feel passionate about it because you've done it, you've lived it. I didn't know you graduated from college at 33. Most people at 30 will say, you know, forget it. You know,
oldest person in the freshman class. What am I doing here?
That takes courage. That takes courage, confidence, consistency. The thing about it, it really
I was driven.
It was driven. And so a lot of it has to do with mindset. And so tell us a little bit about where the motivation comes from. Is it from your mom? Is your family? Did you have mentors growing up? Who are some of your mentors that you have, you know, around you now in this space?
One mentor was my grandmother. My grandmother traveled from the South, and my grandfather, and they bought a house, which was very uncommon at the time in 1933 in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
They owned property. They were very hardworking. And my grandmother just really didn't take any mess, you know, quite honestly. My mom was also a good mentor for me. She had, you know, a difficult marriage with my father. She chose to walk away from that situation and, you know, struggled to raise us. But oftentimes we didn't even really know we were what we would really call poor because we had love and we had support. And my mom was the baddest decorator with a little bit of stuff you ever seen, honey. She really was my first decor or decorating inspiration. She would just take what was just a little bit, and she would just let me. And next thing you know, you were like, oh man, okay, all right, that's what we're doing.
That's where the creativity comes from.
She was very creative and inspiring, but at the same time, she was practical. She couldn't see how I could go into a creative arena and really earn a living, you know, which was, I think, somewhat of the time period, you know, that they grew up in. It was get a government job, you know, this sort of thing, try to get on someone's payroll.
Right. But even though, Denise, when you think about it too, if you said your mom, if you're roughly about my age, my mom was divorced that was in the 50s. People didn't divorce really back then.
My mom divorced in 71. She divorced in 71, but still, that was still not.
That was not real common. No, to even do that was like, where do you even find a divorce attorney? I mean, you know,
like, she got it. Yeah, she got it done. Yeah, she got it done. And that
took courage.
I knew I wanted to have an entrepreneurial kind of lifestyle. And so becoming a professor is not an entrepreneur, but there's a lot of flexibility and, you know, academic freedom. And so freedom is one of my top 5 values. And so I do create environments where I get to have the kind of freedom that supports me and the things that, you know, I am passionate about. And then I offer that similar quality of freedom to dream and to be and to shift and to grow to other people. And I like to do that also in someone's space.
That is good. I would like to offer you to be in Speakers Magazine. We've known each other for so long. The magazine's only 4 years old. So I would like to have you in it. And I know that you have, that these are the things that is required. You need a photo, which I'm sure you have, great professional photos. You need a bio, and I'm sure you probably have that from an EPK from somewhere.
Absolutely.
Around. And then really your speaking topics, which you're real passionate about. You know, just really that, because I want the magazine, if you see in the background, is really created just so that it can highlight those.
Yeah, absolutely.
It highlights speakers and lets people know what they speak on, who is speaking on what, and how to contact them. Like,
thank you.
Subscribe to your YouTube channel, subscribe to that, because you're you're different. Not to say that, everybody has to be the same speaker, that sort of thing, that there's, everybody's a motivational speaker, but yours is different from the standpoint that you're doing these pivots, and also till you come out of theater. And that's a little bit, I guess you say you have a little bit of an edge, in terms of doing that. That's why YouTube was so natural for you. It was just really natural.
Yeah, what's interesting is I actually was going to start the YouTube channel 2 years before, but I was going up for my promotion, and I wanted to really focus and be in integrity and give my all to that process, which is a very intensive process. And then the very next year, I got a opportunity to go to California to teach in a special program with Amazon Studios, which was amazing. And then COVID hit. And then, we had to fly back in March, and of course, then the rest. So, but by the time the pandemic started to really unroll, and I asked myself that question, it was a no-brainer. Don't wait. Life is not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. Do this thing that's, I'll do this when I retire. I'll do this. Do it now. Figure out how to get it to fit into your life. People say, how do you do so much? I say, well, you need to learn how to shift from thinking about motivation to discipline.
There you go.
Okay. Because discipline is the pathway to success.
You know what? That's really funny, because you are an artist, right? You're an artist, and you did the painting, so that was, they're creative. They're creative. So you just let them do whatever. And it's like, no, you're saying you need discipline if you want to get
Yes, absolutely. Artists have discipline. Artists have systems, right? Artists have procedures that they implement. Artists have methodology. Artists really have everything that any left brain person must use. They're just using it in the way that works for what they're doing.
I think of someone who has discipline. It's like Missy Copeland. She's an artist.
Oh gosh, absolutely.
Yeah. And
Stephen King, the writer Stephen King, he sits down and writes at the same time every time. He's sitting at the same time and writing for the same amount of time, until it just is the habit. It's like, oh my God, it's 12 o'clock. Like, in 10 minutes, I have to be sitting at my desk.
That's one of the things. I went to journalism school. So that's my thing. And they said, well, do you want to be like a reporter, daily reporter? I said, I don't know if I could write every day.
Right.
That's my thing. I said, I like feature writing. It's a little bit longer lead, daily. It's
right.
Like, you're chasing ambulances and you got to write this story. It's like,
think about the discipline of an actress. The actor must have the discipline to memorize and to learn lines and to be on point and have their spot and learn angles and the whole thing. And so someone had asked me about the scripts for the episodes. And honestly, I don't really write scripts. I write bullet points, and then I freestyle and I try to do it in 2 takes. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4, but then I just shoot the take and put it in the can and keep moving, so I'll chunk it down. And again, that's just transferring what I understand from TV and theater into this realm.
There was something too, and this is a side. My daughter is, she kind of went viral yesterday on Twitter, right? She did a really cute little clip of a photo of our family with Chris Brown on a red carpet. Probably she's 11 years ago. So that was like 10, 12 years ago. And she just kind of said, I thought I could pull Chris Brown with this outfit on, at 11 years old or something like that. And anyway, so it was kind of funny because she looked a hot mess, right? Preteen and just, and I'm in the picture and I'm like in between them, and people were like, oh yeah, you look like your mom was trying to pull him. And then my husband was on the other side. So she has these little quips where she kind of does these things. And a lot of times they get viral or whatever. So I said, do you like comedy writing? And she says, yeah, I do. I like comedy, like Flay. And I said, I wonder where you could go to learn that. Because obviously she's graduated from college now. She majored in marketing. And I'm thinking like maybe she needs to talk to Denise.
Well, it's interesting. A place that I would have recommended, I think they actually just shut down, which was where I studied comedy writing at Second City in Chicago. And then, but I think they may have shut down, but still look them up. And then there's another Upright Citizens.
That's where Tina Fey went.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of folk. Yeah. And then Upright Citizens in New York. I did comedy acting there, but they may have a writing piece.
Yes.
Because they also have I think Upright Citizens might even have a LA. Anyway, Upright Citizens. See if Second City is still in existence. Short form, you can do short form. Of course, they'll do them now over the Zoom or virtually. But those would be the first 2 places I would recommend.
Because those are the kind of things where you have an inkling or you have a desire, you have a gifting, and then maybe just pursue it until the point where it's like, you know what, I maybe yes. And then
One
maybe
more thing.
Mhm.
She should also do some regular improv, because
Improv.
as she studies improv, it will actually train her writer sensibility.
Okay.
Right.
With the
Yeah.
timing, and
For the
things like
kind
that.
of, exactly.
I love that. I knew you would
Yeah.
know. You know, the teacher of you just comes out. It's like, okay, this is what she needs to do. Because
Right.
I'm like, all right, Aubrey, you need to call.
I felt it too. I was like, oh, I didn't went right into my
I love it. But what you said is that during COVID, one of the things when you knew you wanted to do something, you had to acquire a skill. And that's why I always do my Ready, Set, Go Speak program. I said there are skills that you have natural skills, but then there's other skills that you need in order to move that other piece further along. So you went on your walk, and then you said you came home and you learned how to do this editing yourself because you didn't have a team. It was COVID. It was
I
like
didn't have a team.
you had to learn how to do
And
it.
now I like editing a lot. I really like it. It's very
like over
creative.
40. You're not like a millennial, like I grew up with this, right? You're a person that's like a
I had
baby.
to learn it.
Yeah. Are you a baby or you're Gen X? I'm not sure which one you are.
I'm a Gen X.
Gen X. Okay. So you're Gen Xer. So you learned it. And then someone, thank you, Patricia. She put up here Second City shows. Thank you, God.
Oh, awesome. Yay.
We will make sure that we put that in the show notes.
Definitely check it out.
We make sure you put it in the show notes as well, because it is when you have gifts that that just take over for you. They said, your gift will make room for you. And that's what you have done on your YouTube channel. When I look at that, I'm so proud. I'm like,
I love it.
I love that.
Oh, I love it so much.
So I want you to come here one day soon. I don't know when.
So many people
I got to get my shots first and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I want you to help me with the studio that we have right now. My studio here that's in this basement.
We will listen. I call it. We will trick it out. That's my little thing. We will trick it out. Okay.
That's really what we need, because my husband, he does voiceover, and then I'm trying to do the video stuff and all that kind of, and that's really what we want to do. We want to make this, but I don't have the gifting to do that. And I saw you do that. I was like, oh, she could take this stuff and just like move this around. You got the nails, the hammer, the screwdriver. I'm like, how really? I was like, okay. So I just want to just thank you so much for just really being true to yourself. You've got thrifty, what is it? Thrifty Fly
DIY with Denise Joy.
I love it. Thrifty
I
Fly
help you make
DIY.
your home custom on a budget.
It is so cool, guys. You have to go to this YouTube channel, right? You have to go to this YouTube channel. If nothing else, just go and look at it, and you will just be so inspired. If you have the gift, you can do it. But if not, you can also call her, and she can help you with that as well. So I just want to thank you, Denise, for just joining us today. Go to youtube.com/Denise Hart. And also, is your book still on Amazon? They could get your book?
No, it is not. It is no longer there.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to work on the next one and have that one come out, and it probably combines maybe DIY.
Probably, actually.
Yes. So that will be one of the things that's really good. So I just thank you all, and thank you all for joining us over here. Thank you, Patricia, for putting that
everybody.
Yes, for putting that information out there so that we can have the information for people who want to do any kind of whatever's in your heart to do. There's someone there that can help you get to that next level.
Absolutely.
And don't like you said, the question you asked yourself, if COVID were to take you out today, what would you have
regretted
about? Yeah. And don't have a risk. Just try it. If it doesn't work out, fine, but at least you tried.
Worst thing is it doesn't work out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my thing.
Going.
Like, okay, I didn't die from it.
Keep
so
moving.
I just tried. So that's the main thing. So
thank you so much, Pam.
Thank you for having us. And for those who want to get training for branding, for speaking, of how to do PR, go to Ready, Set, Go Speak. That's my monthly program. Tonight, we're talking about media magic. We're talking about how to really get media, traditional media, radio, TV, and print, and how to bust out of, I guess you would say, like the Instagram squares and the Facebook famous, and really learn how to get traditional media, because I'm a really big fan of that. That's like one of the main things. And I want you to make sure that you send me your information as well, so you can go on the Speakers Magazine.
Absolutely.
Yes. I think someone in your area is going to be on the cover of May, TC Cooper, is going to be
yes.
Yes. So I want you in that
Yeah.
in that DMV area, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. I seem to have a lot of friends in DMV. I need to. One of these days, I may be living in that area. Who knows? So, well, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm Pam Perry, and we're out.
You've been listening to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast, brought to you by PamPerryPR.com, where you'll get insider tips on how to build your platform, pitch the media, and promote yourself with confidence. Head over to PamPerryPR.com and get the exclusive video training on the 7 must-have marketing materials you need before you pitch in order to be considered in media places or superstar stages. PamPerryPR.com, where you help you shine like a superstar.